All right. Number 24 from lesson 3-2 is -2. 26 is 5. 28 is -2.5. 30 is 5/11. 32 is -3/4. 34 is -9. 36 is D is about 1.67, which means that the water level in New Orleans has reached sea level after 1.67 days of rain. Excuse me. 38, bless you.
We didn't do that.
We just did 24 through 36.
Well, okay, fine. Okay, what questions do we have on that lesson?
28.
On all of them, besides 36, I thought we're doing this thing that we're doing on notes. Like what we did on this, I thought we're doing on.
So, even if we were doing domain and range, you did those all wrong, because the domain and range on all of them would be all real numbers, because they're lines. $28, you said. So let's find the 0 of f of x equals 15 plus 6x. Okay, so what does that mean?
What I did first was I substituted the x for a 0.
You substitute the x for what?
A 0, I think is what I did. Hold on.
You put a 0 for the x?
No, I put a 0 for the x.
Yeah. That's what
Did
we're.
I say x?
I thought you did, but you may have said f. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So the 0 is another name for the x-intercept, right? So that's what we're looking for. So in order to find the x-intercept or the 0, we put a 0 where the f of x is. And then we can solve that for x. Easy money, right? So what do we do to solve that for x?
Subtract 6.
So the 6, like, slow down and take a look. Is the 6 added to the x?
No.
It's right next to it. What does right next to mean? Multiplied. So the 6 is multiplied. So we divide to get it off. So where the confusion is in your head, I've spotted it. I can see it. So often we would see this equation written looking kind of like this. And so where you have it is the right number we add or subtract, but it's not the right, it's how it's connected. So the plus, but wherever it is, whether it's on the right or on the left, if it's right next to, that's multiplication, right? So we get rid of the other one first that's added or subtracted. So how would we get rid of the 15? Subtract it. Subtract 15. We subtracted this from this side as well. What's 0 minus 15? Negative 15. Easy money, yeah. Now what would we do? Divide the 6 off, because right next to multiplied, so we divide to get rid of it, right? So the 0 is at -2 1/2. Right? Y'all agree? Did I do that mental math correctly? Somebody check it for me?
Yeah.
Okay. What other questions from this lesson do we have?
36.
24, 36, and
Yeah, I saw hard.
Pretty tricksy. 24. All right, so we're supposed to find the zero of this one. So what will we do first?
Substitute the F out for a zero. I can
You
talk,
got
it's
it.
okay.
You got it.
Now what do we do to solve for x? Subtract 8. Want to make sure, I was just thinking about a thing. Want to make sure we understand the point of the different pieces of this class. Because sometimes I think some of us we end up getting to a quiz and not being at the place we need to be in order to take the quiz and do it well. So you watch the notes, right? Learn the concept, then you try the homework, do your best. And then one of two things happens, right? Either you get stuff right and you come the next day in class and it's right, or it's wrong. If it's wrong, that means you were confused or you made a mistake. So now the step now, and this is the part that I don't know that we're paying good attention every day always. Now is a step where you unconfuse that, right? So make sure if you're making mistakes, make sure that you figure out where the mistakes were and where you were breaking it and all the things. And if you're not understanding and if there's confuzzlement, make sure you're asking questions, because you can ask more questions than just number 8. You can ask, why did you? Or why is? Or what? All of those are great. And here's the deal. I know this is hard. This is a hard lesson to learn. This is a really hard lesson to learn. There's plenty of adults that are still learning it. I'm one of them, to be honest. Only idiots don't ask for help. So don't be an idiot. I am often that idiot. I'm not very good at asking for help either. So the sooner you guys learn that lesson, the better. Because smart people ask lots of questions. Lots and lots of them. So don't hide if you're confused. Embrace the confusion. It's good. That doesn't mean you're stupid. It means you're smart. And I'm not kidding, and I'm not trying to stroke your ego. I'm being dead serious. Deadly serious. Okay? So if you're confused and you don't understand why I've done a thing, ask, please. Do yourself a favor. Now what should we do? Divide by 4. X equals negative dose.
On all the problems I put for f of x, I put negative 1.
Okay, tell me about that. Why'd you put negative 1? Was there a reason you know of that you thought that was correct?
In the book.
I'm glad you're looking at the book. That's good.
166. No, let's just see. I went to 164. Looked at the first example. I saw negative 1. So I just put that problem.
Did you?
I watched it.
Did you? Yeah. No, that's good. Now you did great. But here's what you didn't do on the example. So here you were looking at the wrong example for one thing, because that example. See, look at the homework. That example goes with problems 10 through 21. Do you see that in the green there? Okay. So example 1, which is what you were looking at, goes with those. Example 2 and 3 are the ones that go with the other ones. So those will be the examples you look at. And then the second thing here is what does it say on? Because I want to talk through all the bits because it's useful. What are the instructions on example 1, the one that you were following? Example 1. So go back to that one that you were looking at. What are the instructions on there?
Find the zero of each linear function by graphing.
So it's telling you to find it by graphing. So you'd have what they did was they graphed it. They made a table and started plugging stuff in. And then why did they pick -1? Because that's where it crossed. Because that's where it crossed right there. So that was a 0, right? And they confirmed it. Look down at the bottom. They plugged in -1 in for x, and then what did they get when they solved it? 0. So that's why they use -1, right? So do these new steps, the real steps make sense? Good. Good. Okay. You said another one, but I don't remember what it was. 36. Okay. 36. All right. The word problem. New Orleans.
So good at word problems.
Flooded. Okay. Probably. Parts of New Orleans lie 0.5 meters or below sea level. After D days of rain, the equation W equals 0.3D minus 0.5 represents the water level in W meters. Find the zero and explain what it means. So they give us the equation, the water level W equals 0.3 times the number of days, D, minus 0.5. So we got to find the zero. So how do we do that?
We,
Substitute what, where?
the D.
Yeah, put a 0 right here.
Plus 0.5.
Yes. Then we've got 0.5 equals 0.3 D. Now what do we do? And we end up with D equals what? 1.67.
So I did it a different way, but I still got the correct answer.
Okay, so tell me about what you did. Let's see whether you were thinking good or you lucked into it.
Oh, never mind, I didn't do it correctly.
Oh, you did say, okay, that's fine.
So I did that part, and since I then when I did that part, for some reason instead of substituting the W, I substituted the D.
So you found the y-intercept, or in this case, the w-intercept. Right? And you got 0.5, negative 0.5. Okay, so we got to answer the second part, right? D is about 1.67. Now we got to say what that means, right? It says what are the wording he uses? Explain what it means in the context of this situation. What do the letters represent?
Water and day.
So water. So the water level, right? So New Orleans, all these people in New Orleans
So cute.
are down here, and water, and they are below sea level. Sea level's up here. They're below sea level by half a meter.
How do you do that?
What?
How do you do that? How do you put a city below seawater and it still be all
On the water. Levees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which is what happened in Katrina. They failed. That was one of the reasons why it was particularly bad, because the levees and stuff failed. Okay, so they're I just looked at this and you were asking, half a meter below sea level. What does the D represent in this situation?
Days.
Yeah, the number of days of rain, right? And so what would zero water level represent? Where would that be?
Lower.
Would it be? They're below sea level, so this is like negative 0.5, right? That's why this is negative 0.5 in the function. So they're down below. So what would zero water level be? Sea level, right? Back up to sea level, right? So what we just figured out is how many days it takes before it's at sea level, right? What do you think? What are you calculating?
1 day, something hours.
Oh, how many hours? Somewhere
That would be like
14-ish, probably, I bet. 13, 14-ish. Because 50% of a day would be 12 hours, right? So
the individual hours, then it would be like 3 days.
10% of a day would be 2.4 hours, so 12, yeah, probably about 13-ish.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Wait, do we have a quiz?
We have another lesson.
I'm trying to get out of the quiz. Back.
Like for those
Do you have another
lessons?
quiz?
I don't have a quiz to give to you in my hand at the moment. No, I do not.
You know, I just noticed we never do quizzes over the first lesson we did. I just not noticed that.
Not never, but that is often true.
Yeah,
All right, let's look at 3.3, rate of change and slop. What numbers did we do?
1438.
Okay, here we go. 14 is 1/5. Excuse me. 16 is negative 4/3. 18 is 569.33, and what it means is there was an average increase of 569.33 women per year participating in lacrosse. So somehow there's a third of a woman out there playing lacrosse. Per year even. So there's 9, 10, there's 3/3 of a woman. Maybe they should get together and become one whole woman. Number 20 is invisible. Yes, the rate of change is constant. Number 22 is no, because the rate of change is not constant. 24 is negative 3/5. 26 is 1. 28 is 0. 30 is undefined. 32 is 10/3. 34 is 3/4. 36 is 6. 38 is 2/3. Did we do 40? Good, because it's stupid.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how you do that.
You'd have to like measure the sides and then divide it.
6 was what?
26 was 1. All right, what questions do we have on those? 18.
I got 1,700.
8. So I got it.
Yeah.
I just subtracted 2 numbers and got that.
You said 18?
Yes.
Okay.
Goodbye. Thank you, everyone.
So, what was the annual rate of change from 2008 to 2011 for women participating in collegiate lacrosse? Explain the meaning of the rate of change. So, what do we do? Subtract what?
Subtract 2011, 2008, and then the
Which one goes on the top? Which one goes on the bottom?
2000. I got
Eight goes at the top. No.
2008 and 2011.
Which, you're right, we subtract these and we subtract those. Which one goes on, which, this or this?
Years.
The number of women.
Number of women goes where?
On the top.
On the top.
You said which one goes on the top?
I probably did. But I was like starting to get a little bit discouraged and I wasn't listening and speaking well, so. I don't know why we're making some things more complicated than they should be. What's gonna go on the bottom?
2008 or
2011.
other way around, sorry.
2008 divided by 2.
What's 13,532 minus 11,824?
1,703 over 3.
You know, I've said this, I even kind of yelled about it the other day. Once somebody starts talking, the rest of you hush! Because nobody can understand it when you're saying, we get popcorn words. What number is it? Once someone has begun speaking, everybody else hush. 1,704. Great.
I got 1,703.
Okay, well then y'all double check or somebody else confirm one of the answers.
1,708. I was right.
8?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the third number we've gotten. So everybody punch it fresh on your calculator.
13,532.
Yeah, I have 8 as well.
824. 1,708.
Okay,
1,708.
great.
What was I gonna say?
You could also just, look at it and be like, okay, 32 minus 24 is going to have an 8 at the end. So,
Right.
all of those things.
You were right.
And then what's 1,708 divided by 3?
569.33 forever.
5,000.
That's not.
Repeating 3.
Okay.
Oh wait. That's fine.
So, that's the number.
I guess I just kept the. I don't know.
What does it mean?
It means that
That's how many people.
That's how many people per what?
1/3.
year.
Per year, per single year. We got this down to 1 year, right? Right? Unit rate and slope are kind of the same thing whenever we get it out of its fraction form, right? It's the same. It's like have we talked about unit rate yet?
No.
That's coming up eventually? No. I thought we did. Didn't we talk about unit rate?
I did.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm smarter than him.
I'm pretty sure we did.
We did.
I don't remember.
It's all
Bullshit.
together.
I'm pretty real sure we talked about unit rate already.
I don't have great sense of memory.
Sounds really familiar.
It does.
Does.
Equations, linear functions. Maybe it was last year.
I think it was last year.
So wasn't recently.
It was technically. It was like a year ago.
Exactly.
I guess it was last year. That's what had happened. Great.
I won.
What?
Okay. All right. What other questions do we have?
36, no.
34.
I want to see that one on my third person.
That would probably be pretty gruesome, so I doubt it.
would.
But the fact that they're playing lacrosse might be gruesome and cool.
Well, one of them, the very middle one, doesn't even have.
You don't know where the third goes. It could be like this middle or this middle, or
Yeah, but any third in the middle would not have legs.
unless it's like diagonal or something.
Even more gruesome.
Or maybe it's just like pieces and parts. Like this person has one of the toes and this person.
One person has one blind.
All right. 34.
The full nights.
Up all night.
So we are supposed to find the value of r so that the line passes through each pair of points has the given slope. So what do we do?
We could start by labeling them so we don't get confused.
That's a good idea. I love that. What are we going to label where?
R is x2 and then
X1.
I would argue x1, but
oh yeah.
I mean,
Negative 13 is x2.
2 and then
it is not x2. That's lies. x2
Way more gruesome.
I can't talk today.
and y2. And this one's m, which is important. Es muy importante because this time we know m, right?
It could be R.
So we're kind of in a different spot, right? We're gonna put, this is not gonna be a parentheses. This one right here, right? Because this one's got an R in it. This one's gonna be an R. Actually, we can do parentheses for everything, that's fine. But we're gonna have parentheses over here too. What are we gonna put right here?
And, oh wait, 8.
8. What about here?
13.
13.
And this one?
Negative 13.
4. Oh, yeah, maybe.
I can't think that.
And these what?
3.
And this one?
R.
R.
Oh, R, yeah. I told you.
You did not. Now what do we do?
We can start continue.
I agree. Let's start with that.
Oh yeah, okay. Continue.
Now what? What's something we could simplify?
3, 13.
3, 13?
I don't know.
Definitely not 3 and 13. That doesn't make any sense.
R.
We can't like cancel that because of the pluses and minuses. No, there's something we can simplify. What is something we can simplify?
Add 13.
13, add 13 to what?
13.
Together.
Yeah, I agree. That's just 13 plus 13. We can do that, right? That's easy money,
It's so weird.
right?
I was like, am I missing something?
26. Now what could we do?
3.
Where do I start?
We have a, no, we can't add R because it's down in the denominator. No, we couldn't subtract either. We have a proportion, y'all, right? Isn't that what this is?
Hold on. Okay, I'm not crazy. You wrote two, it's, sorry, 34 is R, negative 5, and 3, 13.
Okay. So this should be a 5, and this one should be 5, which would make this be 18. Right? Great.
Great.
Now, we have a proportion here, y'all, right? So what do we do with that?
Ka-chink.
Chicka what?
No, I meant cross multiply.
Cross multiply. I agree.
That is what I meant.
This, we got 8 times all this mess, right? 8 times all this mess. This, we got 1 times 18. I bet y'all can do that without a calculator.
Do this.
Now what do we do? Yeah, what's that called?
Distribute it.
Distributive property. I agree. What's 8 times 3?
24.
24.
Said it first, guys. Everyone's times.
What's 8 times negative r?
AR.
No, you're both wrong.
8. Negative 8.
Negative 8r.
I got it.
Okay, so I know I say all the time, and it's worth saying again, even though it's not really contextually useful. Use this before you use this, and we need to add to use this before you use this. Right? In general, use this before you do anything. Don't just do stuff. Use your brain. What now?
Now we subtract the
We subtract the 24 because it's positive, right? So we got to subtract it to get rid of it, right? right? I know this is a negative, but that's the 8 over there, not the,
Oh, I thought
right,
it was subtract. Just kidding.
right. No, this -8 is right next to the R. What does that mean?
-8.
Divided that, or multiply 2.
Yeah, so you would divide it. Yeah, you're thinking all around correct. Don't forget to bring down the negative, right? That's an easy mistake to kind of accidentally not bring that down. What's 18 minus 24?
Negative,
Negative 6.
Sorry.
-6.
Good job, Corpus. We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
All you said was negative.
I said -6.
You did not. What should we do now?
Divide -8 R.
Just the -8, but yes, that's probably what you meant. -8, because the R is what we want, right? So then R equals what?
Positive.
Good.
That's it.
Thinker before your clicker. Thinker before your speaker. Good job. You did great. You knew it was going to be positive, which is you did that exactly right. You did that with your thinker. Good job. It's exactly what I want. Positive what?
14.
No, we're not adding. We're dividing. 6 divided by 8. 2. No, not 2. Just kidding.
0.7. 3/4. -3/4.
Positive. Negative divided by negative. Positive 3/4.
I said.
I was just like encouraging him about it being positive. That's why he's laughing. And then you still said negative. You didn't use your thinker before you used your clicker, right? Negative divided by negative is positive. Use your thinker before you do your clicker. Your calculator. Your calculator. Your calculator is unintelligent. It doesn't know. It only does what you tell it.
So you can make it 6.
What other questions do we have, kids?
Can
38. 38's easy, but we certainly can do it. 38 doesn't require any math. It only requires looking.
I did math.
Well, then you did too much. Number 38. We're supposed to find the rate of change of this line.
I think it's supposed to be.
It is. Which one of those is the slope? The M. What's the slope of this line? What's the slope of this line?
5. Wait, no.
You just said M. What's the slope of that line?
Why? There's no M.
-2.
No, there's no M.
-2.
Yes. I swear y'all are making things way too complicated today. Calm down. This is like easy stuff. Done. Sin, slope, intercept, form. The one that's the slope. The M is the slope, which is what you said. And you were right. This is
Back, yeah.
okay. Hello? Y'all are liars.
I'll have cheeseburger.
You are.
So are you above the age of 55?
Only when I'm by myself or with somebody.
You are not interested to protect yourself of any kind of medical emergency?
I'm so interested. That is scummy. Because what they said, what the robocall, because that guy was just a robot. But what the robocall was, and I've gotten a bunch of those, and that's why I went ahead and answered it because I was curious. It says, I'm so-and-so with such and such overhead door ready to install your stuff. And then when we answer it, it's a medical, life alert, whatever thing. That's a scummy scam. That's like several layers of like
Scum.
If you're gonna do
Scummy.
might as well just make it believable.
well, no, because the reason why it gets through my robo thing is because it answers and says that I'm so and so with the door thing or whatever. That's the first call. It says the text of the message that they left. But then when they talk to you, you're like, oh, I'm doing this whatever, and then the robo thing that we're just talking to is programmed in such a way that it tries to manipulate the older person into talking to somebody. That's ugly. Ugly. I didn't expect that. I expected I didn't expect it to bait and switch from overhead door to life alert, but not. That's ugly.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
So-
I'm ready.
So where's, in 38, is the answer's negative 2/3? Is that because of the x attached to it?
The number next to the x is the m, which is the slope, which is another name for rate of change. All that is true. Yes. So like the answer to 39 would be 4/5. The answer to 37 would be 3.
Okay.
Yep. All that's accurate and true and good. What other questions do we have, kids?
If you, and you do 26.
26? Sure. You probably just made an arithmetic error, but we can see.
I didn't even get that right.
Thanks a lot.
26. I want to find the slope between 2 and negative 2.
Problems like this like to confuse you on purpose.
Yeah.
They're annoying.
What should we do here?
Put -2 and
Parentheses
then
first.
-2. I see.
So, the reason I got these wrong was because I just put it straight into the fraction, into a
Negative 2?
graph. I don't know why I put it into. I was
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I was tired.
Okay.
You. What?
Do you need help on 30 or do you already know what you did on 30?
No,
Okay.
I just don't know how it became undefined.
Ah, okay. That's fine. All right, so on 30, we've got -8, 6. And I'm trying to find the slope between that and -8, 4. We label them so we don't get confused. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. We do the slope formula. And we plug what right here?
-8? No. Sorry, 4. Excuse me.
True. Good catch. What here?
6.
This one?
-8. Negative.
We do ka-ching, ka-ching. What's 4 minus 6?
2. 0.
And 0. That's why it becomes undefined. Because
If there's any.
divide by 0 is undefined. It's worth noting that just because, so you don't confuse yourself later, if we had gotten this, then it would have been this. Because 0 divided by 2 is 0, but anything divided by 0 is undefined in this context, in most contexts actually, other than when we're talking about limits. And then it's probably infinity.
Infinity.
Any other questions, kids?
0 is on the bottom, it's undefined.
That's right. That's right. Then it's 0, right? Because 0 divided by 2 is fine. Check it on your calculator. Do it both ways. Do 0 divided by 2 and then do 2 divided by 0 and see what comes out each time.
5 by 0 error.
Yeah, if you divide by 0, it's like, I can't do that, dummy. And then you do 0 divided by 2 and it says, look, the answer is 0, right? Right.
Well, if you just
Did you forget your calculator again?
What
Ridley, Ridley,
I was doing my
do I need to text your mom and say, Ridley keeps forgetting his calculator, you should ground him?
Wait, I
Ground him from his calculator.
Just keep it in your backpack.
Yeah, just keep it, look.
Just keep it in my pocket.
Are you doing do you do your math in your binder like a normal person, or do you like do random paper somewhere else?
I do.
Okay, good.
Are you
So
judging me then?
keep your calculator right here, and then you won't forget it. It'll be easy money, right? Or have you lost it permanently and who knows where it is?
Wait, do you do that?
No, I know it is.
In that case, you need to text your mom and be like, Mommy, I lost my calculator. I know I'm grounded, but I need a new one. Okay, any other questions? Do a quiz.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Why was everyone so excited?
I know we're gonna do 3 out of 3. I know, I know.
Happiness.
Happiness comes from that.
Huh? That'd be nice.
That's love. That's love.
No, where's the right?
I knew it.
Red.
Why? We're gonna do 3 out of 3. And
What are you saying? Something you say.
We've already done 2 quizzes.
Yes.
you said what?
Nine,
no,
30,
no,
11,
no.
9. For some reason, that looks like a whole page.
No, it's 3 problems.
You should assign that for the next